China makes a deal. The deal has been done. It's a deal, people. China's deal with the US. Let's talk about that. Gold and stocks and Bitcoin and crypto and all that stuff. They've had their reactions. We'll take a look at those prices. And Peter Schiff is an idiot. Now, I don't say that lightly because I really like Peter Schiff. Being a precious metal stacker for a very, very long time, he just made a dumb take on his reaction to that. So we'll take a look at that as well. I will always be critical, even of the people I love, including my amazing GMS family right here. If you're watching this on the replay, I should say, use the time codes below to go to whatever favorite part you want. But if you're watching live, I really do feel like you are the special people because you get to enjoy every single thing we do here at Good Morning Stackers with me, Joe Main. But what I first need to do is you need to grab your tasty beverages. Grab a tasty beverage, whatever kind of beverage it is. And we do what I call, I know, and you love it, it's called the synchronized slurp. You grab a tasty beverage, I grab my tasty beverage, I quickly edit this thing at the same time. So I'm going to give you about 10 seconds to get your tasty beverages, and then I'm going to hit that button right there, and I'm going to grab my tasty beverage, and we shall do it together. Are you ready? What are you drinking today? Let me know in the comments. It is the synchronized slurp. You must do it audibly to start your day the right way. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Good to see you, my funky people. I am Joe Main. 2 separate words. Some people used to say, introduce my name and go, oh, here you go, oh, Joe Main. And they go, oh, Jermaine, your name is Jermaine. Like, it's not Jermaine, like Flight of the Conchords. It's Joe Main, M-A-I-N. Don't you know? I've been a stacker of precious metals since 2010, a stacker of crypto since 2013, worked in the retail bullion industry, gold and silver bullion dealers, 3 major bullion dealers in Australia. You know me, you love me. I've served many of you via phone, via email. I've probably packed your orders over the counter, whatever. And I created and maintained the social media channels for Bullion Now. I created their Bullion Now channel. Okay, if you're familiar with Bullion Now, that was me, man. Recognize this voice behind the camera? Sometimes you saw me in front of the camera too. And I revitalized Ainslie Bullion's channel. I worked for both of those. I worked for Goldstackers as well. Now, I help you launch and grow on social media as well. Hit me up if you have a business or maybe your personal brand too. Happy to do that. And now I do this week daily live show all about stacking, silver and other precious metals, skills, satoshis, and this wonderful society that we are creating right here with GMS family. Let's do some quick shout outs and we'll get to China deal. We'll talk about all that stuff and then how Peter Schiff is a bloody idiot. Morning, Joe. You're the first one in. Okay, nice one. Morning, Joe. Morning, Jason. Good to see you. I'm interested to know what your take is on the stuff today. I have a feeling you're going to be like, no, we love you, man. Silver Ruger. Morning. Hey, what about me, man? Oh, super chat. Dude, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Super chat. $10 from Richard Pin. GMS had a great return. Oh, well done. Good one, man. Had a great return on whiff yesterday. Increased my soul stack. Interesting. Okay, so you're like playing the whiff to soul ratio, I guess. That's interesting. Thanks to your insight, mate. You are welcome. And that is really nice. When I make some dollars, you make dollars. When you make dollars, thank you very much for the super chat. That is always nice. If I can help you in some way, pay it back is always a good way to do it. And Richard is doing the noble thing. So thank you so much, Richard, for that super chat. That's awesome, dude. Tony Peterson, Richard, thanks. Yeah, exactly. Hey, it went to me, mate. GMS. Good morning, Jason. Tony is our chat mum. Good morning, Tony. Good to see you. Tony is our chat mum and our official admin, our chat admin. So if you annoy her, ban hammer. Gerald Draper, GMS. Yeah, good old Peter Schiff. Hey, let's see. Talking so much yourselves. Love it. Good morning, Silver Ruger. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Van. Love the synchronized slurp. China deal. More like China capitulation. There we go. I knew that was coming. Sino's back in the house. Good morning, all. Only H2O available today. That's the same as me, man. Cheers again. Question, Jason. Is your H2O fluoride free? I would highly recommend that. Black tea. Good on you, my friend. Good on you. Welcome, Cam. Oh, hello, Cam. Good morning, Stacker, says Cam Nagaratnam. Cam Nagaratnam. I'm going to say that. Welcome to the show. I haven't seen you on the channel before unless you've just changed your name recently. Great to see you as a long-time listener, first-time participator. Of course, as the token lefty, the token liberal here, Jason added extra fluoride just to be the contrarian. I swear to God, if when, and I reckon this will be when, very quickly, and I'll get to today's stuff, when RFK Jr. Comes out and makes a recommendation that fluoride gets removed from all water sources. As a recommendation, doesn't mean he's not going to put the ban hammer on it, but he might put it to a House bill, or he might put it to Trump or to the Trump admin. Every lefty will go, the Democrats will go, fluoride is the greatest thing in the world. It's for your teeth and da-da-da-da-da. Swear to God. We all know what fluoride does. It's not good for you. Don't drink it. Okay? Because why? Why shouldn't you drink fluoride? Well, you drink fluoride and what happens? Pretend this is fluoride. It's on your teeth for about 2 microseconds, right? And then basically a tiny little coating, and then your saliva gets rid of it. It's just going into here. It's nothing for your teeth. It's not doing anything for your teeth, basically. It's just all going in here and doing bad stuff for you. Get rid of it. Yes, I swapped a few Sol for Whiff, ran it for 48 hours and swapped back with decent increase. That is fantastic, man. First time live, says Cam. Good. Maybe they should recommend getting the lead out of water first. Yeah, sure. All of that. They should just filter it, man. Filter it. Get rid of it all. As nature intended. Thank you. Oh, no. The show's brought to you by Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, mastering the markets, masteringthemarkets.com. One more comment. We have a water distiller. Add a few grains of Celtic sea salt to the glass jug. Brilliant. Love it. Let's get into today's topic. China and the US have made a deal, man. It's all fixed, bro. It's all fixed. No, look, we know China and that we'll read the thing, but China and the US have come to a 90-day pause on tariffs. Okay, cool. That's not a deal as such. And people who are going crazy saying, it's not a deal, it's not a deal. Yes, we know that. Okay, but, you know, if left-leaning people do something that's great, they will amp it up, and the right-leaning people will go, yeah, it's not exactly that. And then when the right-leaning people do it, it's the same thing. So it's just 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It's not a real deal. It's a pause on stuff. We'll take a quick look at it. And we'll take a look at Peter Schiff's, I think, quite idiotic response. In my humble opinion, love Peter Schiff. Not this time. Let's see. Let's take a quick... We'll Shah the Scran, brah. Can you do me a huge favor, though? Can you please follow me on X right now? That's at x.com/it's Joe Main right there. Capital J, capital M. I don't think that matters, but do that just in case. Could you give me 1 second? I'm getting messengered. Could that be someone telling me something important? One moment. No, it is not. So stop messaging me at this time of day. Don't you know I do a show? Follow me over on X, please. Here is news.com.au. Close enough for jazz. But let's see what I have to say. United States and China reach deal. Say, look, even news.com.au use the word deal. Okay, technically it is a deal. It's not a full-on trade deal, negotiation done, but it's a deal to reduce the tariff rates. Cool. United States and China have agreed to a deal which means the high tariff levels between the two countries will now drop sharply. Cool. The United States and China have agreed to a 90-day pause on tariffs, which means the ultra-high tariff levels between them will now drop sharply, blah, blah, blah. Speaking to reporters in U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said the deal involved a 115% points per drop on both nations' tariffs. Quote, we have reached an agreement on a 90-day pause and substantially moved down the tariff levels. Both sides on the reciprocal tariffs will move their tariffs down 115%. He said the consensus from both sides of the negotiations was that neither wanted a decoupling of trade. Okay, so they've been speaking in Geneva. which was a really good neutral place to do it. Okay, neither side is giving up any kind of persuasive power, because if a whole bunch of Trump people had traveled to China, people would have said, oh, they're capitulating and they have to go to China to talk. And if China went to the US, they'd go, oh, well, China's capitulating, right? So they just met in like Geneva, which is Switzerland, right? Hey, Swiss, neutral, right? We expect that as negotiations will proceed, there will also be the possibility of purchase agreements to pull what is our largest bilateral trade deficit into balance. Okay, America's trade deficit with China simply means that, if you don't understand what deficits mean, simply means that US imports a higher cumulative value of goods from China than the other way. Trump has framed his tariffs as a way to wipe out his country's various deficits, all right, albeit pursuing other policies, blah, blah, blah. And of course, news.com.au have to take the contrarian view too, which is understandable. Earlier on Monday, no, China did acknowledge that an important consensus has been reached. Yes, engaged in a full-blown trade war. Chinese vice premier said on Monday that officials from the two countries had made substantial progress. Good. In the Geneva negotiations over the weekend, which he described as candid, in-depth, and constructive. Okay, that's good. China and the US will finalize the relevant details as soon as possible and will issue a joint statement reached at the talks on May the 12th. That would be today in US time. Okay, it's already May the 13th here in the future in Australia. Mr. He said the two sides had agreed to establish a trade consultation mechanism. Cool. Fancy word for pausing stuff when we're going to still talk. It's important to understand how quickly we were able to come to an agreement, which reflects that perhaps the differences were not so large as may be thought. Nothing else. Mr. Yeah, no, what else do you need to know? Basically, the trade deal, the tariffs have gone down they've gone from 145% each or something like that. China has lowered theirs to 30% or 10%, and US has lowered theirs to, or it might be the other way. Okay, let me check that actually. Let me see. Give me 1 second. What percentage did China and US lower tariffs to? Let's find out from good old Grok. When you don't know, you search something, because we have the amazing power of Grok, for example, which of course, it's going to be a little bit biased, but agreed to a temporary pause. Okay, so this is interesting. The US reduced tariffs on Chinese goods from 145% to 30%. Okay, so the US still has a 30% tariff on China, but China lowered theirs from 125% to 10%. So there's actually a 20% difference there in the US's favor. Now, that is to obviously try to rebalance the current deficit that it is. Okay. So some people calling the US has capitulated. No, I mean, it's 30% versus 10% on their side. So no. Anyway, let's take a look at the reactions. Lots of different reactions, but I want to take a look at this one in particular. This is from Peter Schiff. Now, I like Peter Schiff. Who is Peter Schiff when he's at home? Peter Schiff has been an amazing champion of gold. So much so, he's a real gold bug. He doesn't like Bitcoin. He's a really anti-Bitcoin guy, which I get, which is fine. There's many anti-Bitcoin people. More power to you, all that sort of stuff. But it seems like his take on this is kind of weird, and we'll see his responses too. I think this was an idiotic take. Love Peter Schiff. Not on this one. Not so much. Peter Schiff says, how is this trade deal a win for Trump? Well, no one said it. No, Trump didn't say it was a win for Trump necessarily. I don't think he's come out with a big speech about it. But I get it's a fair question. If the Fox News people and the big MAGA conservatives saying this is the best deal in the world, which I don't think many would be doing. But it's a question, how is this deal a win for Trump? China has agreed to nothing. Well, neither has the US. They have agreed. They've agreed to reduce the tariffs. The 100%, 100, now he got this. No. The 145% tariffs we imposed have been reduced to 30%. No, man, you just got that wrong. I just realized. I think it's got that wrong. The 125%. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yes, no, that's right, correct. Yes, they've been reduced to 30%. The 125% tariffs they imposed, yes, sorry, he is correct, in response have been reduced to 10%. Yep. If 145% tariffs were just a bargaining chip, China already called Trump's bluff and won. I don't see how that's the case. US's won at 30%, China's one's at 10%. There's a 20% difference there in the US's favor, which is to balance some deficit there. And of course, all of this was a bargaining and negotiation tactic. Okay, it's like the analogy is when remember back in the first Trump admin when Rocket Man. It was like Rocket Man. It's Kim Jong-un and Trump were going at it over Twitter. Okay, it's like fire and fury. We're gonna basically you're an idiot. You're this that. That's basically like emotional tariffs, okay? That is actually the start of negotiations. So you've got to like talk tough. Oh, you're an idiot. You're this little rocket man and this and he's so short and all this kind of stuff, right? Escalation. And then both parties, although you can't read both parties' minds, right? We can't read minds. It did seem very much like just kind of, we're just poking at each other and then that's kind of like a mutual respect. We find out where everyone sits, which each side sits at. And then we go, okay, yeah, cool, let's talk. And then what happened? Literally, historic Trump setting foot on North Korea soil, okay? Now, I don't know about have we heard much from North Korea recently? No, not really. I mean, there was a little bit more tensions when Biden was back in, but no, I mean, apparently North Korea, can be nuclear and all that kind of stuff, and Trump did a really good thing. Sorry, he just did. But it first took that initial and then everyone settled down. This is what I like in that too. They're just bargaining chips, so this is a good thing. And I don't see how China already called Trump's bluff and won. That's kind of mind reading. So let's read some of this, some of these people's response to him and his response to them. So the reason China was even at the negotiating table is that they are desperate. I was told by leftists and experts that China could easily find other markets. Guess they were wrong again and had to make a deal. So Peter Schiff said on that, nothing was negotiated. Well, no, not the trade deal, no, but it's a negotiation to bring. This is a negotiation. We start here. I'm going to do this. No, I'm going to. All right, let's just chill for a minute, and now let's properly negotiate. Yeah, okay. So the only table was reducing Trump's tariffs, which is the only thing that happened. China's retaliatory tariffs were only to get Trump to reduce his, which he did. Yes, but that was the goal. Do you think Trump put on? Again, we can't read minds, but do you think Trump put on 145% tariffs thinking China was not going to retaliate? Of course. The whole goal, calling Kim Jong-un little rocket man, is order to, get the lay of the land, and then everyone just chills and takes a pause. Okay? It's really simple stuff. Idiotic take here on Peter. I just wonder if he's just doing this for engagement. Jane Adams, random person, says, actually, China just slashed their tariffs by over 90%. That's not nothing. That's a white flag. I wouldn't agree that it's a white flag. I wouldn't agree there. No, they didn't capitulate. Trump didn't get bluffed. He got Beijing to back down while keeping US tariffs 3 times higher than before. That's the 30% versus their 10%. That's leverage. That's strategy. And yes, that's a win. Okay. Peter says, no, it's not. China never wanted those tariffs. They only imposed them in retaliation to ours. Yes. Since we agreed to drop ours, they dropped theirs. Yeah. So they won. No. They got us to lower the tariffs Trump wanted, but they never did. Again, this is mind reading. Why did Trump put on the tariffs? He put on the tariffs. And you don't need to be able to read minds to figure out what the pattern is. You put the tariffs on as a bargaining tool, and they go, oh yeah, I'll do this. Oh yeah, I'll do this. Oh yeah, my dad's bigger than yours. And then, right? That's the reason. Come on, man. Let's see. It's a win for Trump because the UF tariffs are 3 times higher. Okay, same thing. Now, this is an idiotic take, I find. But Trump could have just imposed the 30% tariffs from the beginning. Well, yes, he could have, but that wouldn't have created any kind of major, oh my God thing. It needed to create such a stir that the whole world goes, what the hell are you doing, man? What is going on in these markets? This needs to be sorted out ASAP. What is going on? Panic at the Disco, right? That's the reason why. So yes, the US government will raise taxes, but paid by Americans, not the Chinese. No middle class, high-paying manufacturing jobs will come back, but the middle class will bear the brunt of the tax increase. Maybe. They are paused for continued negotiations. Sure. This is so stupid. Peter, this is such a dumb take, man. So they are paused for continued negotiations. Sure, but we could have negotiated without any of the tariffs have been imposed in the first place. Says who, Peter? How do you know that? You don't know that at all. It took the big, hey, what do you think about that, China? And China go, oh, holy crap. All right, well, here you go too. It wouldn't have been the following. Do you think if the US had just gone, knock, 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 hey, China, can we negotiate our trade deals, please? Because we feel like we're getting screwed a little bit. No, Trump had to go blow up the market for a little bit. China responds, and then here we are. That's a really dumb take, Peter. It's unlike you to be stupid like this. After this agreement, will gold prices continue to decline or start to rise? Okay. Peter thinks, I think the trend continues. The same for the new downtrend in the dollar. Yeah, gold's had a bit of a dip. We'll take a look at that in a second. Gold will continue to rise over the longer term. Yeah. So that was his kind of basic takes. And I think they were idiotic. Idiotic takes, man. Let's get your comments on this. Tell me what you think on live on YouTube and on X. We'll talk about this very quickly. We'll take a look what the gold and stocks and Bitcoin did, and we'll do the usual chart analysis. And yeah, we'll go from there. Leah Scott says, exactly, Trump's art of the deal. Okay, now let's talk about that for a second. Some people were going, oh, Trump's art of the deal. He didn't write the art of the deal. No, he didn't write it. It was ghostwritten. But ghostwriters, and I think the ghostwriter is, we even know who that was. Ghostwriters don't just write something and not know who you are. They literally spend a whole bunch of time with you and they have conversations. So Trump's not a writer, even though, funnily enough, his tweets, his posts are some of actually the best persuasive writing in history. Although maybe he, learned that skill a little bit more down the track. Again, the art of the deal was written in the 80s at some point. But it's the art of the deal. You do a big, huge first crazy, stupid offers. Everyone thinks you're nuts. Everyone thinks you are unpredictable. If you can remain unpredictable, you're unpredictable. People don't know. It's like, would he actually do those tariffs? No, he wouldn't. No, he won't actually. No, those tariffs. Oh, actually, maybe he might. Shit, we better call the US admin and go, okay, we'll make a deal. And I'm talking about other countries as well. Because remember, he imposed all these tariffs, blanket tariffs on on almost every country in the world, right? Or I think it was every country. And then a lot of them go, no, we don't want that. Now, I won't go so far as to go, the greatest deal in the world or anything like that, but this is par for course for what Trump has done in the previous presidency and in his previous business dealings as well. Some people will then come back and say, well, he's a failed businessman. He's had multiple bankruptcies. Yes, companies that he's either started himself or he's licensed his name out to have gone bankrupt. It's like 4 to 6 bankruptcies in hundreds of specific businesses that he's either created or been licensed his name out to. That's a really good win rate, man. Anyway, I'm going a little bit Trumpy here. Let's see. Get some Peter Schiff stuff. Let's see. Peter Schiff stuff. Current deal is 10% additional each way. Was 20% on China, increased to 30%. Yeah? Nope, Joe. Don't know what that means. Manufacturers are already fleeing China for India and Vietnam. Yes, they are. Going back on your things here. Morning, Tony. Trying to catch a live today. Thanks for the link. Yeah, cool. No problem. See, that's not an argument, Jason. Just saying nope, laugh out loud isn't an argument. Give us your argument for the contrary. When people post, if you ever post something on Facebook that's a little bit controversial and people just hit the laugh response, and you're like, you couldn't do better than that? You can't give me a reason? Give me a reason, Jason. It's India's turn as the world's cheap labor factory. Stuff used to have a gold made. Yes, that's right. Do you remember that? Stuff used to have a gold made in Japan sticker. I remember. Then it was China. Next batter up is India. Yes, I remember that. In the 80s and 90s, everything was like made in Japan, made in Japan, made in Japan. And I remember that very clearly. It was like everything was made in Japan, like this thing and this thing and this thing. And then it was like made in China. It was like, okay, things have shifted over. You're absolutely right. Probably or possibly going to made in India. Now, a lot of things are made in India, Bangladesh, etc. Two different places. But yeah, Gerald Draper says, goal to bring them to the table. Exactly. And make the other pay a fair share. Like medications is a big win against Big Pharma. Medications. Trump just put out an executive order about lowering drug medications to become a most favored nation, basically saying we pay the most for drug prices wholesale. So the US pays the largest wholesale price of drugs out of anyone in the world. And we're basically, because we pay so much, we're subsidizing the rest of the countries. And they said, yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. Whether that gets through, I don't know how that works. He's put an executive order to say, it'll get lowered by, 30. We want to get the best deal. That whatever country has the best deal right now, that's the deal we're getting on every single individual drug. So we're going to pay the lowest cost. How that works, I don't know. But yeah. Jason says, yes, the small businesses love all this chaos. Many small businesses going under, not knowing what is going on. I'm going to have to say, to be honest, if a small business is not able to handle this kind of stuff, should they be in business in the first place? And that's quite cruel to say, but if your small business doesn't have a little bit of cash stored up or extra inventory, or if you're just running on, fumes, should you be running on fumes? Maybe that's an ill-informed statement to make. Could be, but the question has to be asked at least. Let's see. Evening, y'all, says Space Miner. Email me, mate, and I'll email you back. Or I should just email you. Can't read him, and he loves it. Right. The future. My argument is 10% each way, not 30% and 10%. So why is it not 30%? Yeah. So it was 20% and now 30%. If you read my comment, you will see why I say no. Yeah, so it was, but it's still, the end result is still 30% tariffs on China, 10% tariffs from China to the US. Let's see. Japan saw XOR project. Yes, you want me to double check that again? It's on my list. Those laugh emojis on FB posts are weaponized emojis. Yes, they are. I do agree. We'll get to some final comments here, and then we'll take a look at what the prices did. Only Joe can put up a poll, knackers. Unless Tony, can you put up a poll? Oh, it's Tony's speaking. A poll about what? Not sure what you want me to pull up a poll about. Did the same in the first administration via executive order, was struck down, needs to go via Congress. Roe Kahana ready with the bill. Good. Let's hope it gets through. And let's see what happens. Slacking, question mark. I've produced these three individual first. Oh, okay. Talk amongst yourselves. Mod privilege only allows you time to chatters. Okay, to sit on the naughty step for 300 seconds. Good. We just crushed the One Belt Road trade deal. Did we? Give me One Belt Road trade deal gone? Question mark. I'm asking Grok. What is it about the One Belt Road trade deal? Oh, China. So as part of the broader trade, this agreement does not directly reference the Belt and Road Initiative, and no specific thing has been reported as terminated. However, Panama recently announced it will not renew its Belt Road Agreement with China, becoming the first Latin American country to exit the initiative following pressure from the US. No other BRI trade deals are confirmed as gone based on available information. Okay. Let's get on to... Yes, I do agree. We'll do a ninja style poll. Type 1 if you want to see Space Miner on a live with Joe. 1111111 says me too. So that's coming from me. I want that too. Let's make it happen, Space Miner. We shall talk about crystallized osmium and the One Belt Road screwed to help China, not the partner. Okay, fair enough. Let's take a look at what this recent trade deal the announcement has done for gold, and we'll take a look at stocks and do all the Bitcoin and all that kind of stuff. If you want to buy gold, however, go to Perth Bullion Exchange. Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, best bullion dealer in all of Australia. Free shipping when you have 20 or more items. Honestly, do it. They should be part of your precious metals purchasing rotation. If they're not one of your preferred bullion dealers, you have rocks in your head. I'm not joking. Okay, you do. Free shipping when you have 20 or more items. They price match. If you can find it cheaper at another major bullion dealer, send them a message. A couple of terms and conditions, but they'll usually honor the price matching. Couple of T's and C's. Come on, man. perthbullionexchange.com.au. I just don't have to sell this any more than that. perthbullion.com.au. That's a trade I want to show you later. We'll come back to that one. Let's take a quick look at what the precious metals have done. Cool. Here is gold on the daily time frame, priced in USD, 3,236 US dollars. We have SSB, and this will be in the last few hours, last 24 hours overnight since Trump said, hey, here's the announcement about pausing the tariffs. We have seen that lower move. I was expecting lower, that we had broken down through here. I was expecting lower. We have seen lower. We haven't made a lower low just yet, so we do have to keep that in mind. Let me have a look. Is this a potential? That's on the 4 hour. Let me see. Is that a potential? Ooh, okay. Here's something that could be playing out. Could that be playing out? No, it's only if you take it from the wicks. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's playing out yet. I don't see hidden bullish divergence just yet. Okay, so still thinking we're heading down a little bit further. Could be wrong on that. Why won't you let me adjust you? Why aren't you playing ball with me? Right there. Higher low, lower low on the RSI. If that's the pivot point, that's a slightly higher high. Although technically you should be taking them from the... That would even spell possibly hidden bullish divergence, because that looks like more of a flattening out. That's a bit of a divergence. No, I can't say that just yet. I'm expecting lower prices still for gold. This could be the fake out, and then we head onwards and upwards from here. If you want to see gold heading onwards and upwards, and some people don't because they want to go lower to scoop up more, you need to see gold head out of this area here, and it must clear right now, as of this thing, 3,350 US dollars. That happens to line up exactly with this previous resistance back here. So yeah, clear that. Oh, and it's exact resistance here. Okay, so that's why you've maybe found that little low there. Interesting. Clear there. Good. Clear here, that 3,440, that final hurdle, for me, the final boss for new all-time highs for gold, and then we're onwards and upwards. I'm expecting still lower at this stage, and gold reacted to go lower after the China thing, US thing, because that signals risk off, so it signals it signals that the risk is less. Okay, and so people go more risk on. Gold is a risk off asset, and so you see a little bit of a dump in there. I am expecting lower. Okay, don't know where down to. Watch out for probably lowest-ish, I think, is probably around about 2,700. I'm not saying it's going there. That's like a 10% chance at this stage. That's actually, no, based on that, that's around like, no, that's like 3,000, excuse me. Yeah, but I'm expecting lower until confirmed otherwise. That's gold. Quickly silver, $32.50, as I posted on the Gold and Silver Stackers Australia forum at the moment, this morning. When we just zoom out very quickly, look how good it's looking. I mean, it looks great from a longer term perspective. There's your massive downtrend line from 2011 through that level right there. We broke out. Technically haven't had a retest. You don't always have to have a retest, okay? That could be close enough. But final boss, $35. Breakthrough, $35. Bang to 50. Spend a little bit of time at 50. Bang to new all-time highs. And then we're in undiscovered country. As I made that Star Trek joke reference yesterday, and we're golden, okay? Just watch out. Potential. Come back and retest first. Max pain. Everyone will be crying. It's all over, and then it fakes you out and does that, okay? Just be aware of that. But silver looking great. $32.50. Got to close 35. That's all I have to say about that. Platinum, doing its thing, hovering below $1,000. The more it hovers around there and knocks on that trapdoor, the more likely it is to be taken out. Start to going over 1,000, and then we're looking really good. Platinum is in accumulation mode. Gold to silver ratio is still around 100. Not a lot to say. The Australian dollar is still hovering around. Don't you love that sound? Yeah, a little bit of a peak. Oh, we found it. Did we find it? Get away, you. Oh, yeah, found kind of resistance here at close to that. Oh, we're at, 65 cents. So where I said around about 65 cents, yeah, not a lot to say on the Australian dollar ratio to the US. And we've got rhodium here, which is still above the support level, which it needs to hold above. So that's good. You can come anywhere down to, on rhodium, anywhere down to here at around about 460, 470, and sweep that and then do that. That would be looking really good for rhodium, okay? So rhodium's still in a holding pattern. I'll tell you if when it breaks out, and then I'll tell you if when I am getting into it. Maybe, maybe not, depending on what else is going on. Let's take a look at stocks very quickly. Take a look at the S&P 500. So that and the NASDAQ are doing quite well, okay? So gold has had a move down because the Trump-China quote-unquote deal, etc., the pause, and that means people are moving more to risk-on assets rather than risk-on assets, so they're moving away from gold, going back into the stock market. This level on the stock market has been broken. It has been rotten. Bring it on style, okay? It's gotten through that 5,800 or 5,770 something level. We are still at the 0.786, so I'll just give slight caution. Great to see it above where the buyers got trapped here. You still have a little bit of trapped money here though, so it's around that 0.786 level. Got to clear there, okay? Then we'll talk Turkey for 5,860 roughly from this high and this low. It's around about there. Do that. Dang. Okay. Do that-ish or back down to there. Then if you cross wherever it, peaks out there, that is ultra uber bullish. That would be go time for a little bit for stocks, for risk on assets. That probably means Bitcoin as well, crypto. We'll get to that in a second. That's the SPX. And let's take a look at the NASDAQ as well. NDX. It's done basically the exact same thing as well. It's crossed through that first level of buyers. We've got some more trapped money right here, and that's exactly at the 0.786. Isn't it funny how that works? Good old Fibonacci from this high and this low. So that's at 21,000 roughly, and follow my previous things. Do that, cross there, onwards and upwards we go, very likely. To where, I don't know. For how long? I have no idea, because then you're in, once again, undiscovered territory, undiscovered country, so you don't know, okay? But yeah, you could pretty much say it can probably an all-time high would be made if we do that on the NASDAQ. Cool. Out of interest, I just want to keep you aware of one of my favorites, which I will be in or back in at some point. Tesla, okay? This is Tesla, as you know, very bullish on Tesla, bullish on Elon Musk, etc. We've just gone into the zig zone, okay? This is the 0.382 to the 0.618 from this high and this low. We broke market structure, bullish change of market structure. Round about here, we came back, we retested it, and now on this recent news, we're now right there at the top end. So you've got to expect a little bit of resistance in this box. That's why you draw in that box. That's the area you need to get through. Once you fight through some buyers here and some trapped money here, some people will be taking profits right there. A lot of people will be taking profits right there around about $385 US. Why? They got in here expecting it to go much higher. Then they go, ooh, double bottom. Ooh, I'm going to take a double bottom. And, oh, here, onwards and upwards we go. Oh, no, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, I'll buy some more here, just a dollar cost average. And then it went shrunk. Okay, so that's trapped money. All these people, they're not buying here just to get out here, unless you're a day trader or a very small swing trader, right? So they've been waiting, okay, and they've waited since January. Some of these people, they waited since January. Okay, it's not a huge amount of time, but they've waited. Okay, since January to now. Some people were like, oh yeah, no, I hate this game. I'm out of this thing. So you're going to find some resistance here. If you can crack through that, man, there's a few buyers here, but pretty much you're good to go for Tesla. And I am highly, ultra, uber bullish on Tesla in the longer term. I don't have it here right now, but I have done previously, and I'm not an expert at it, I did my amateur version of Elliott Wave, okay, based on like the macro version. This is the monthly time frame. So, you know, if you want to call that wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, or could this be a massive wave 1, for example, which I think is actually quite possible. You could call this a big macro 1, I don't know, 1, 2. Anyway, I think, honestly, no joke, I think it's going to sound crazy. $10,000 Tesla at some period of time. Okay, could that be 10 years from now, 20 years from now? Yeah, quite possibly. What's the cost of a loaf of bread at that time? I understand inflation and all that, but $10,000 Tesla, absolutely freaking doable. Why? Robo-taxis, Tesla cars, Optimus robots, all that kind of stuff. Very bullish on it. Cool. That's Tesla. And let's take a look at Bitcoin and crypto. And then I'll take maybe a chart request if I have time. Let's take a look. How did Bitcoin react? It's interesting actually. Bitcoin's just doing its Bitcoin thing. It actually kind of acted like gold in the last 24 hours, where it's had a bit of a dip, but it's been up quite a lot recently. So, Bitstamp exchange? No. That's why I don't have all my stuff on here. Cool. Here is Bitcoin on the daily time frame, US dollars, 102,550. Cool. Bit of a dip, no problem. Par for course, looking pretty good. All my stuff on here. We have gone straight to the 382. Okay, so we have already tested it. Right here on the daily time frame from this low and this high, we've come back to test the first area, the zag zone. Okay, this is the area where you expect to have support after having a good breakout. Markets zig and markets zag. Okay, so we've hit bang on. Isn't that interesting? Once again, how good old Fibonacci works. Right there. Okay, a quick move, and it closed the day, because we've opened the new day, closed the day right at the 0.236. Interesting. My guess is that is done. That's my guess. Okay, could be 100% completely wrong. I'm purely basing it on the following. That is a very decent spike. And what I don't normally see, and I'm just basing this on seeing patterns for forever and a day, okay, I don't normally see the following. where you have such a big spike. It's a red day, but a big spike up. All right, that says buyers are in control of the market. This might be, it might be farting in the wind here. Okay, but I don't see these kind of patterns a lot where then you see that a big red day, then another big red day. I tend to find you probably, open lower and then come down to maybe here, maybe down halfway, but then at some point it ticks around and then it becomes a green day. At least today, I think, will end green. Okay. Could it then end green, end up here, and then it ticks over and then heads down? Yeah, sure, could do that, but not today. I don't think we're heading much lower today. So for day traders, I wouldn't expect it to go anywhere below 101,000 if you're that type of person. That is Bitcoin. On the weekly, this is pretty par for course, man. You can easily have, open the week lower and then it fakes everyone out. And then you close the week greener. It easily could be doable. Okay, so we've already hit that 0.382. That's low enough for when you're in a bull run. Okay, it's low enough. Cool. That is Bitcoin. Let's take a look at the altcoin market, which is others. Ooh, interesting. Indecision. Total indecision here. This is interesting. So this is others, the altcoin market, minus the top 10. Altcoins minus the top 10. Massive indecision. I think this is called a doji candle or something like that, as far as I remember. Massive indecision either way, okay? A very small opening and close. Tried it here, sellers were in control. Tried it here, buyers were in control, and they're not sure. On balance of probability, I would say probably lower. Because we've opened the day lower and a doji is indecision, and maybe this day opening has confirmed the decision now. Okay, so maybe lower today. I've got some buy orders open on a couple of things. Let me show you what they are. And I'm going to show you something very specific that I find could quite possibly be a good crypto find. Let's talk about it. I'm going to might even do a separate video on this. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I might do a separate video. Is Tia making a comeback? Tia Celestia, okay, the darling of the pump back in the crypto pump back in 2023, late 2023. Tia was one of the massive ones. Okay, I made some profits on Tia as well. I was in it, I was trading it, etc. Had a massive run here. Now it's kind of a little bit unloved, a little bit not much talked about. And in this recent crypto run, that you've seen things already pump 40, 50%, sometimes even more. And a lot of them have come close to their zig zones, their 0.382 to 618 from this high and this low. Tia hasn't done it, has not even started its pump, basically. So I think it's one of the laggers. Now, if crypto is going to continue up, I would highly suggest looking at Tia because it has not even done any major move yet versus other crypto that have. Get it? Got it? Good. This is Tia on the weekly time frame, price in USD, $3.15. What do we notice? This is on the weekly time frame, then I'll pop it into the daily. Here's the weekly. You have massive bullish divergence. That's where you have a lower low. On the weekly, you find a couple of pivot points. That's a pivot point, but you take it from the close and not from the peak. Not from the spikes. So from here down to, it's around about there-ish. That's a lower low on the weekly. What do you notice on the relative strength index? Okay, you notice that's kind of like a flattening out. I wouldn't say exactly flattening. It's on a very slight decline, but it's definitely divergent from this massive decline. So something's going on there. It is diverging. That's a positive sign. Okay, then what else are you looking for? You want on balance volume. You want other things to show. And by the way, this is all stuff I'm learning from Mastering the Markets, masteringthemarkets.com. We'll take a look at them in a second. And from the wonderful ASX Trader, you want other things to confirm it, okay? For example, on balance volume, this is a big one. This is also showing massive bullish divergence from the weekly price. Price go down, relative strength index basically flattening out or diverging, on balance volume actually increasing, okay? And then you also want to check the relative strength. Now, this is different to the relative strength index. Relative strength, you're just matching it against Bitcoin. Now, I've got the Bitcoin pairing chart to show you in the first place, but we'll just show you here. that is also showing you an increase as well. So that is diverging from the price. So there's three, in my opinion, 3 blinkers on there on the weekly time frame. Let's pop into the daily time frame. You can see very clearly that we had what looks to be like a liquidity grab. Okay, you have this level right here, came down to there, okay, and then we had this move here. Look at that spike, okay? Where did we close at? We basically closed on that line right there. So what was this? And what was this and this? Looks like it may have been possibly a liquidity grab where people have gone long here and they put their stop losses here, and then the market loves to take that liquidity. It likes to grab it from people. So it triggers their stop losses. So those people, technically they make a loss, okay, but they're a small loss because it's a stop loss. And then it fakes people out and goes, ha ha, sucked in, bro. And onwards and upwards we go. So liquidity grab looking likely. We had a test here. So we made the first higher low. Well, technically we made the first higher low here. We made another higher low here. It broke through here. Now, some people would say, oh, that was your break of market structure, but it was invalidated. Okay, so I'm going to call this one here the break of market structure. And so far, we've got a higher high, and we have a higher low. So far, so good. And we also just came back to retest on the daily. So for me, now, bear in mind, I could be completely wrong on this. But for me, TIA looks like it's underperforming the other cryptos that have been having decent rises. So as long as it holds above for me around about this area, you could even say, and I do have some buy orders in, let me show you. Between this low and this high, I have some buy orders. I've already taken a small position because we did bounce basically off the 0.382, but I've got a small position in right now, and I do have some buy orders set at around about the 0.5 level and around about the 0.618 level from this low and this high. And those are the levels, it's about your $2, $2.80 something and $2.70 something that I have buy orders set. If they don't get triggered, then I'll just buy a little bit higher. If they get triggered, that's great. And then hopefully what you want to see is no lower than there, please. Sweep there. So either do this, do that, or do that. Great. If we do come down below here and do that, not great, okay? So that is TIA, and you have, let me show you the weekly once again and get rid of all this stuff for you. Yoink. You have a potential move, okay? And all of this is potential, doesn't mean it's going to happen. You have a potential move. Let me just show you some other crypto that's already done some big things. Okay, let me show you what I'm talking about, bro. I also have a buy order in on ENA. ENA is actually one of the ones that's probably hasn't pumped massively. This one, let me show you WIF. Oh, this is the one that, let me show you WIF in USD. Right now, WIF has already had a big move. This is the one that one of my subscribers who mentioned, I've forgotten which one it was, said they took some positions and they were able to increase their soul stack. Okay, we were talking about WIF was it yesterday? Or I think it was even last week. I think we were talking about WIF. It had broken out of its market structure, right? Broke out here, and it's actually pumped. It pumped after breaking out of its sort of market structure here. It's already pumped like 100 and something %. Okay, and it's pretty close to its zig zone right here. Between here and here, for example, you've only got, if you were to buy now, which I'm not saying you should, if you were to buy, you've got around about an 80% move to the zig zone. Bearing in mind, you've got a lot of trapped money here, and that's where we found, gee, what do you know? Basically exact resistance at that trapped money right there. This could be it for WIF, okay? And I'm glad that subscriber took some profits there because that's major resistance. And where does it happen to coincide with? Gee, what do you know? The 0.236, okay? So you don't always get to the zig zone. If there's a massive area of trapped money, it is obviously going to find some resistance there. But I would suggest if, I'm doing a quick WIF thing here, but there's a point to it though. If it continues upwards to the zig zone, that's only, and it sounds terrible to say, right? It's only another 80% from here. It sounds funny, but this is crypto, baby. Okay, this is only another 80%. However, let's take a look at TIA. TIA has basically done nothing. So TIA has, from here, right here, to its zig zone, is 190%. So, okay, so you have a 190% potential versus another 80% potential for whiff, for example. And many other cryptos have had those similar kind of moves. So TIA, I would imagine, would be one that, you know, if you want to get into crypto, watching some levels, and if it cracks through and it remains above, you've got much more upside potential for TIA. However, there's one thing I will keep in mind for you, which is you do have a lot of trapped money here. Okay, so just be aware of that. And that's actually even before the 0.236. So you do have to get through this area kind of here. And yeah, you can see it right there. So if you get through there, I would say that's pretty much good going to here. So here's the thing. You have to be quite cautious. If getting into TIA, you've got to be cautious for the first 40% increase, roughly. You could say it's actually technically about 44% from buying from here, okay? Play a bit of defense around here. Expect some resistance. You've had some resistance already here. If it can clear the $4.50 area, I would say basically you're in for a move all the way up to pretty much the next area of major trapped money, which is at the bottom end of the zig zone right there. Okay, so 190% move from here. You might want to play it cautious, and you might not want to stick around for the battle in here. You might want to wait for this to clear and do that. And then, hey, oh no, I waited to see confirmation. Oh, damn, I only made 90%. Oh, well, big deal. Like, right, big deal. Like, oh no, I only made 90%. Gee, that sucks, doesn't it? Are you not going to take that trade? Of course you are. Okay, that is TIA. And I have to show you just on the BTC pairing. The golden rule is if the crypto or anything that you're in, if it's not beating its, well, in crypto, if the altcoin you want to get into is not beating Bitcoin, why would you not just buy Bitcoin? Just buy the big boy. Much less risk. Okay, it's riskier to be in individual crypto. So you need the Bitcoin pairings to confirm the recent rises. So we've seen the rise in TIA above its broken market structure. Bitcoin has yet, the Bitcoin pairing, I should say, has yet to do it. Now the blinkers are on, which is good. Same thing as the US dollar price. Lower low on the weekly. Technically on the BTC price, you've actually got a higher low on the relative strength index rather than a flattening out. You have a higher low on the OBV, on balance volume, and even though this is tracking Bitcoin anyway, it's still a higher low on the relative strength, but it's the same thing. But we have yet, if you show you on the daily time frame, it hasn't broken through the Bitcoin pairing. So I have an alert set right here, or I did have an alert. Hey, screw you. I had an alert on you. Why am I not alerted? Why am I not alerted? Crossing up. There's an alert set right now. And where are we? If you cross above 40322, if it starts crossing above there, that is now going to be a change of market structure for me. That's where I'm basing it. For the TIA to Bitcoin pairing, that confirms, it's confirming the fiat dollar price rise. I would be very happy to jump in TIA. I'm already in a little bit. I'd be actually happy to jump in probably with more. If you wanted to see and wait, you could expect potentially some support here. And again, it's in this general zone. If you sweep here, good, that's fine. Just don't close below there, which happens to be, previous bottom. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that amazing? Again, the way Fibonacci works, that's at the number of zeros to 7, whatever that is. Do that, fantastic. Do that, yeah, fine. Do that, scares you a little bit, but yeah, fine. Do that, not good. Okay, very bad, I would say. Very, very bad, very bad. You don't want to cross below there. But yeah, so far so good. Once it crosses above there, if it does, really, really good for TIA, for an amazing Potential. That is Tia. I don't want to look at anything else because I've been talking too much. Comments, queries, etc. You have been watching Good Morning Stackers, the weekdaily live show where we stack silver, satoshis, skills, societies, knowledge, love with my GMS family. Space Miner says, I've been hunting stock in electrical transmission and NG distribution, natural gas distribution, hoping to get ahead of the energy surge. Yes, if you take a look at the energy sector, which we have been taking a look at, energy sector looking good. Let me show you the energy sector very quickly. And then, do we have any chart requests? I might have. We're at the hour mark. Maybe I don't have time for that. Let me just show you the energy sector. XUJ. Here's XUJ. It's been on a bit of a tear just recently, but you're in all-time high territory for XUJ. And as I kind of copied, I did. Well, actually, I didn't really kind of copy it. ASX Trader had been talking about the fact that the energy sector has been in a four-year accumulation. Okay, right there between this high and this low. It's been 4 years since it's broken out, and it's finally broken out properly. So after a 4-year consolidation, do you think it's going to stop here? No, very likely not. Very likely not, right? So looking good for the energy sector. So yes, that would be true for oil. We've seen oil prices currently rise at the moment, particularly versus gold. And the energy sector is looking good in general at this stage. So yes, natural gas, etc. You could very well be right, Space Miner. Did you like that chart? Did you like that chart? Do you like charting? Do you like technical analysis? Do you want to be a better investor? Head over to Mastering the Markets, masteringthemarkets.com. If you just want to be a better investor, sign up for their 10-week course. It's amazing. You learn about the Dow theory principles, technical analysis foundations. If you want to be a proper, full-on trader and do it forever, hopefully sign up for the year-long course. Okay. Of course, they cost money, but you get what you pay for. Okay. This is an Australian owned, operated, and run. It's a same thing. Course, okay, by Mastering the Markets, headed up by ASX Trader, of all people. Okay, he was a teacher, and then I think was a deputy principal, knows a lot about how to educate people the right way. So this isn't just trade calls. It's not just like, oh yeah, buy this here and sell here. It's literally they're teaching you the fundamentals of technical analysis, okay? And you learn a lot. I am planning on joining the 12-month cohort starting in July. That's my plan at this stage. But in between that time, I joined the Mastering the Markets Academy. Okay, there's a free version. You can join. You can sign up at academy.masteringthemarkets.com. There's a free portion, which you get all their public stuff that they put on social media and all that. But the real alpha is all the paid membership stuff. Okay, it's just crazy. As again, bi-weekly calls with ASX Trader, with all the other wonderful people in the academy. You get to post your own charts and people comment on them. So I post a lot of charts. Like, for example, I just posted this morning, I posted about TIA on the members chart, right? The paid members chart. Okay, I'm being sponsored by Mastering the Markets, of course, so I do have complimentary access to this. But people post their charts, people comment on them. You've got the interns who've gone through the previous 12-month cohort. They're on there and they say, oh, here's the look to watch out for and all that. ASX Trader comes on and gives comments about, your charts and everything. It's just amazing. So it's a monthly subscription and you can already learn a lot without even having to do a course. So again, academy.masteringthemarkets.com. I'll actually put a link to the sign up page. That should be in the info section of the YouTube page as part of the pinned comment after I've done all the time codes and all that. That's masteringthemarkets.com. Final comments we shall get out of here. Gerald Draper says, how much does Elon own of X and Tesla? Didn't the AI fintech company buy Twitter? All right, that's great question. Great question. To me, though, it doesn't matter how much he owns because he's the head of the company. But yes, how much how much percentage of X and Tesla does Elon actually own? Okay, let's find out that question from good old Grok. And Grok should know. Let's find out. Okay, Elon Musk owns approximately 79% of X, as reports from 2023. Okay. For Tesla, Musk owns 12.8% as of 2025, consisting of about 410 million shares. It excludes stock options, which could potentially increase his stake if exercised. So he has the option to buy more. Always cross-check with SEC filings. And you had said, what was it? Didn't the AI fintech company buy Twitter? No, apparently he owns 79% of it. So that's according to X. X should probably know, unless they're hiding some information, but I don't know. I don't think so. Let's go to you and you comments. Yes. Oh, Boston Robotics and AI agent mergers. Nothing to see here. Okay. Let's see. Nope. The mission is much more bigger than any man, and no man will succeed alone. Not of this magnitude. Okay. Let's see. I'm optimistic about rhodium, says Space Miner. Yeah. If it clears that level, looking good. That we spoke about. The Reluctant. Good to see you, my friend. Final comments. And XOR is today's attention getter. Okay. Has it done something? Give me one sec. So we did look at XOR. Has it had a little bit more of a pump, or has it had a crazy pump? I did save it, I think. Oh, yeah. Okay, sure. Okay. Yeah, cool. 30%. This is XOR. Yeah. Why is it today's attention getter? I'm not sure why that would be. It's had a 30% move, but this is XOR, something we talked about before. For Gerald Draper. Yeah, I mean, it's not over its major levels. Clear there, and we'll talk turkey. Yeah. But again, because this is, again, please understand, this is a uber micro cap crypto. It's 1.6 million market cap. It is nothing. It is a drop in the bucket, and it has $19,000 liquidity. Okay, so even a small amount put in is going to pump the price by 30%. So a 30% gain, but yeah, the liquidity is very, very low. You've got to start at least clearing over here to say it's going to be a bullish change of market structure. So good to see, but yeah, I see what you're saying though. Yeah, I think that's it, people. Enjoy the breakdowns. Nice segue to classroom. Correct. Ladies and gentlemen, you have watched Good Morning Stackers with me, Joe Main, for Tuesday, the 13th of May, 2025. Grab your tasty beverages. We shall do a final synchronized slurp, and I've got a lot of extra stuff to get on with my day, including helping businesses such as yours launch and grow on social media. You know, I help Perth Bullion Exchange. I help them a lot with teaching Ricky how to create consistently engaging content. He's doing great guns over at his channel, over 1,000 subscribers right now. So I can help you with your business, launch your business, or just build a beautiful customer base, a community like I am doing with my own community right here. I've done it for previous businesses, Bullion Now, Ainslie Bullion, and I'll do it for yours too. So hit me up with an email, would you? gmstackers@gmail.com, gmstackers@gmail.com, and I will help your business or the business that you work for. Send them my details and they can contact me. Tell your boss about me. Cool. All right, final synchronized slurp, and we get out of here. And of course, we do dance it out as well, because why wouldn't you? Because you've been watching.
Good morning, Stack. Oh yeah, we're feeling fine. Podcast time.
Grab it.
Grab a tasty beverage.
Let's do that. 3, 2, 1, go.
Now we're on the move.
Good slurping, people. Great session. That was a really good one. Stay safe, stay informed. Keep stacking whatever you're stacking, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great day.